Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you are reading and watching this channel video. A clue of what I'm going to be reading today. This is a crayon, but it's not just any old crayon. It's what color? It's a purple crayon, right? And if you remember, I read a book in one of my other videos how to deal with a crayon. And my background this time might give you a clue as to what the book might be about. Take a guess. Maybe you've read the book. The book is Harold's Trip to the Sky. Again, he likes his big old purple crayon, and with his imagination, he is going to draw out on a paper all places and all the adventures that he has with his purple crayon. Again, this is by Crockett Johnson, and this book too has been around much longer than I have been alive. He's also illustrated the book, and there are other books about Harold that you can check out or purchase. Harold's Trip to the Sky by Crockett Johnson, and the publisher is Harper. One night Harold got up making sure there was a moon so he wouldn't see things in the dark, and went to get a drink of water. Don't you sometimes need a little bit of light when you need to go use the restroom or bathroom, or you have to go get some water in the middle of the night? He wondered about things people see in the dark and where they came from. He was glad he couldn't see them in the moonlight. Suddenly he realized he didn't see anything at all in the moonlight. There was nothing to see. He was in the middle of a desert. Does anybody know anything about a desert? You don't see anything but sand dunes and sand and sand and sand. Yeah, there's nothing out there. No wonder he was so thirsty, but luckily he had brought his big purple crayon again. Remember, he's going to start drawing. And he knew where to find water on a desert. What is he starting to draw there? Trees. There was always a pool of it somewhere near a palm tree. Harold drank deeply. There is nothing like drinking nice cold water on a desert. So he drew his pool. I know when it's hot outside, it tastes really good to drink cold water. But there isn't much else to do on a desert. Harold realized as he looked around, except maybe play in the sand. Then he remembered how the government had fun on the desert. It shoots off rockets. Harold decided to go to the moon. On a fast rocket, he figured he could get there and back in time for breakfast. He's starting to draw his rocket to the moon. He fired the rocket. Starting to come out, all the fumes starting to come out, and off he went. But the rocket missed the moon. It missed it by a mile, and Harold went up and up. Up and up he went into the dark. Anything about space, there's a lot of dark spot areas. Harold tried to see where he was going by the stars. He tried planets and comets. What he really needed to light up his way was another moon. But when Harold looked closely, what he saw wasn't a moon. To his amazement, it was a flying saucer. Harold had heard about flying saucers. People saw them in the dark and nobody knew who was inside flying them. He decided he had better land his rocket right away. He landed it with a bump on the bottom of a strange planet. What planet do you think he might have gone on? There was no danger of falling off so big a planet. However, Harold thought he would feel a little more comfortable at the top. So he's starting to draw that circle and get to the top. He wondered what planet he was on. In the dark light of the stars, he looked for some sign that might tell him. He was on Mars. So he decided he was going to draw a sign that says Mars so that he will know which planet he's on. Harold had heard of men on Mars, so he yelled a couple of hellos, hopefully. So he's yelling, hello, hello. I can hear anybody on the moon. He thought of flying saucers out there. He thought of the things people see in the dark. He felt a great need for company. He was sure any man on Mars would be cordial to a visitor like Harold, who had come all this way to chat with them. Being cordial means you're being nice. You're saying, hi, how you doing? How are things? Instead of being, who are you? Right? You want to be nice to people. So that's what cordial means. He had to draw on his scanty knowledge of what a man on Mars looks like. So he's starting to draw a man. But his looks wouldn't matter in the dark. So Harold didn't care much what he turned out to look like. So he's saying in the dark it's not going to matter what you look like. People can't really see you. All Harold wanted was to know there was some sort of friendly face close by, even if he couldn't see it clearly in the dark. Then all of a sudden, Harold did see it clearly. It was the face of a thing. He drew a bunch of hands, a bunch of arms. It was a thing people see in the dark, and it was sitting in a flying saucer. Harold ran. You don't see Harold anymore. He's running. Then he thought and stopped. Probably the thing was about to fly to Earth and scare somebody, maybe some little child. Bravely, Harold crept back. He approached on tiptoe so the thing couldn't hear him, and he reached out with his purple crayon, and he put a completely damaged crack in the flying saucer. Uh-oh. Things are cracked. Sometimes they don't work right. Before the thing could grab him, he was off again, chuckling triumphantly, meaning he's so happy that he got to do that. He ran as fast as he could in the dark. So he's continuing the circle. Remember? He was drawing the planet. He wanted to get to the top. And now he's drawing back down the circle. Back down the planet. Happily, most of the way was downhill. He hoped he wouldn't fall head over heels. He's starting to draw there. A star. He arrived safely, heels overhead at the bottom of Mars where the rocket was. But by this time, Harold had had enough of adventure. He wanted to go home in a dependable way. So he climbed down on the stars. It was sure but slow, and the points of the stars hurt his feet. Harold wished he were home. He recalled the best way to wish is on a good big shooting star. Remember we talked about wishing before? Right? Instead of wishing, it occurred to him at the last moment to jump aboard. He shot right down to Earth, where he made a neat 2-point landing, meaning the star landed on 2 of its points. He hadn't passed the moon on the way, and he wondered what happened to it. It wasn't anywhere around. Wonder where it could be. Then he realized the night was just about gone and it was time for the sun to come up. He was hungry. The sun appeared right on time. Oh, nice. He's drawn a nice sun coming up from the horizon. It came up big and bright. Harold remarked that it was going to be a nice day. Nobody was ever bothered by flying saucers and things in the sunshine. But for a startled moment, he thought of the But for a startled moment, he thought he saw a flying saucer. It was on the horizon, looking as if it had just come out to land. He was mistaken. It wasn't a saucer. It was a bowl of oatmeal. Boy, was that a mix-up. Harold happened to like hot breakfast. Did you see, a lot of times when you see something that's hot, you see the steam coming up? So that's what Harold drew coming out of his bowl. He quickly drew up a chair. So now he drew his table, right? Now he's drawn his chair. And he sat down to eat. So, where did Harold go first? Where'd he go first? He went to, what? Space on a rocket, right? He wanted to go to the moon. Did he make it to the moon? No, he didn't make it to the moon. He went past the moon and got into a planet. Do you remember what name of the planet is? Mars, right? He drew his sign that said the Mars planet. And how did he get back? He started climbing down the stars. He started climbing back down the stars and then took a ride on a big shooting star back down to the Earth. Right. This is a 3.3 reading level book. It is worth 0.5 points, which means 3.3 means it's 3rd grade, 3rd month. So if you are reading around a 3.3, read this book 3 times. Have somebody ask you questions like I just asked you. Make sure you try to get all of them correctly, because when you take the test, you want to get all that 0.5 points. If you miss some, then you won't get it, and you won't be able to retake that test again. So you want to make sure you take that test. Go ahead. You guys can go buy this book if you like it, or check it out in the library. Harold's Trip to the Sky. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the videos, continue watching these videos. I've got a playlist that I'm putting all the videos that I make into one playlist for you. And some playlists I am starting to separate, such as Christmas. So if you want to read just books that I've read about Christmas, you can click on that playlist as well. Share my YouTube channel to other parents, grandparents, teachers, anybody who deals with kids that you think will like these stories being read to them. Also, if you want to comment, you can do that below, or you can go to the Facebook channel that is catered to just this YouTube channel. called Lola's Enchanted Bookshelf. There you can message me. I can get back with you. Also there has a lot of information and links to where I have things that a lot of times might relate to books that I have read. So please, you can check out those links below as well in the description. Please, again, click like and share. And I hope you guys have a good evening. Bye now.